Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for part 2 of the Boxy Charm Ipsy challenge. Today I'll be working out of the Dominique Cosmetics palette Celestial Thunder. To begin, I'm going to start with a pea-sized amount of the Pearlise Blue Lotus Brightening Serum. And I'm applying this to my under eye area as well as the dark spots that I have on the bridge of my nose where I wear my glasses. I have promised myself that I would use this serum both day and night for a month to see if it works. Next up, I'm going to be using the Mask Moisturizing Primer. This is a gel primer, and when you use this, be very careful. When I was going into it, I didn't realize that I had spilled a small bit of it onto the countertop. It kind of shakes around loose, just like jelly would do, so be careful when you're using this that you don't get it onto your clothing and things like that. As I was applying the gel primer, I did notice that it was very moisturizing. It left my skin fully hydrated, and you can see the glisten on my skin from the moisture. I really like that part of it, and it just made my skin feel so good. As with any moisturizing primer, you want to make sure that it's fully absorbed into your skin before applying any foundation or other products. Now guys, I'm going to be going into the Celestial Thunder by Dominique Cosmetics. I'm going to be using the color Zero Gravity. This is a matte shade. This palette includes matte shades, glitters, and pressed pigments. I'm going to use this shade to cover my entire eye as I'm opting for a very simple look today. To apply this shade, I'm using a Luxie large fluffy blending brush. I'm starting very gradually and working in small amounts to build the color up. I've never used this palette before, and I wasn't quite sure how pigmented the colors were. I'm also checking to see if there's any fallout, and so far there's not much fallout from this shade. This particular shade, Zero Gravity, is going on very smoothly and buttery. I like how it's filling up under this brush, which is synthetic. Next, guys, I'm going to pick up the color Black Matter with a smaller shadow brush. This shadow brush is also by Luxie, and it's synthetic as well. I'm picking up the color very slowly, and it's taking a little bit longer to get the color onto the brush. I want to work with the glitter very slowly because glitters really do tend to fall out. And you'll see a little bit later in the video where I do get some of it onto my face. Good thing I did my shadows first, which is a good tip because you don't want to have to go back in and touch up your foundation and your powders. You see that glitter there? That was not a lot, but when I went to clean it up, when I was done applying the shadow to both of my eyes, it was a bit messy, if I must say so. There are two other glitters in this palette. There's Eternal Light, which is a gold color, and then a rust color called Fireball. Now I'm going to apply the color Eternal Light to my brow bone area and in my inner corner of my eye. Since this palette is the Celestial Thunder, I thank the moon and the stars that I applied this color to my brow bone in my inner corner prior to my foundation, as I had to clean up the glitter from my face using makeup wipes, and then I had to reapply my moisturizer and primer. That takes a lot of extra time, so if you can, apply those glitters first, ladies. Off camera, I've applied a liquid eyeliner in the color black, and I've ripped open these lashes before I can show them to you. But they're by Boxy Charm / Lily, and the style is CEO. So we're going to work with this right lash first. A couple of things that I liked about these lashes: they were super glamorous. And then I really like the band on them. I'm using a 5x magnifying mirror just because my eyesight is slightly poor for my age group. I guess I'm in the right range, but I used the magnifying mirror, and I really overall didn't have a huge problem applying these lashes. I used the white duo glue, which I absolutely love because it dries clear. I get extremely happy when I can apply a lash for the first time in a matter of seconds. So happy. Okay guys, now that I have on both of my eyelashes, I'm going to finish my look and apply my foundation. However, before I do that, I'm going to be using the Glassy primer and moisturizer combination by Touch and Soul. Just a small amount of it on top of that gel moisturizer primer, because the foundation I'm going to use today, the Fluidity by Morphe, is a matte and it dries very quickly. This color is F4.40. So let's get into that. The Glassy by Touch and Soul is a new product for me. I've only used it a couple of times previously, but I really like how the moisture in it kind of plumps the skin up a little bit and just gives you an overall natural glow. And when I applied my foundation afterwards, it was not as dry looking, and it didn't dry on my skin as quickly as I was applying it. So that overall helped quite a bit with the application. You don't want your foundation to dry on your skin before you finish blending it out. Okay, so this is the Boxy Charm brush. There was 2 to the set. This is the foundation brush, and you guys know I do not like brushes. I prefer the silicone makeup applicators, but I'm gonna give this a try and see how it works. So I'm gonna get a small amount of product onto this brush, and then we'll begin. I'll put that amount on, so let's get it cracking. Okay, as you guys know, I do not like to use foundation brushes. I'm a firm believer in that they soak up entirely too much of your product. However, with this brush, it stayed right on top of the brush. This brush was absolutely soft, smooth. silky. It's everything that I would ever want in a brush. And I'm liking it a whole lot. If I can possibly get my hands on some more of these brushes by Boxy Charm, I will purchase them, and I will reconsider only using the silicone makeup applicators. These brushes are the bomb. When I finished applying the foundation, I noticed that it had not soaked up any more product than what the silicone makeup applicator would have done. So I was very pleased by that. The foundation stayed right on top where I needed to use it, which is great. Well, everyone, I have my foundation on, and as you can see, it does not look as dry as it did when I used it without that extra moisturizer. This glassy helped to make it a little bit more dewy. And guess what? I like this brush. I don't like it. I love this brush. It didn't absorb a lot of my product. It stayed right on the top. And then I was able to blend it in afterwards. It's nice and soft and smooth. I like this brush. I can't believe that I like this brush. But anyway, let's move on to the concealer sample that came in the packet. What I'm gonna do, they didn't send an applicator, so I just have my LA Pro Girl brush on the tip here, and I wiped it off, so that's just, you know, the color of the concealer. So I'm gonna dip it into this one here, which is light to medium. No, medium to dark or deep. So I'm gonna get a little bit of that on my brush and conceal my under eye area with this. Actually, I'm using the color medium, and the name of that color is called the middle ground. On top of it, I did put a tap of the light to medium, which is called Tiptoe Over the Line, and I blended both of those together for my final concealer look. Okay guys, now that I have my concealer on, I'm just going to use a little bit of setting powder. This is Banana, and it's by Nicka K. Now everyone, that I have my setting powder on, I'm going to contour my face using the color Majestic out of my Cover FX contour palette. I use it every time. It is the best. So guys, off camera, I used my Avon Glimmer Stick on my waterline, and I took the color on my lid, which is called Black Matter, and I also smudged that on my waterline. There was another product I was supposed to use, and it was by Ciate of London, that dewy stick. This is what it looks like, and this was supposed to be the highlighter, and I'm just going to show you, and I'm rubbing, and I have a lot on here. It's more like lotion, and when I rub it in, it's kind of oily. If this look were not for an event tonight, I would go ahead and try to put it on, but it just looks like oil, and I don't want to mess up my foundation with that. So I'm going to go back to my Cover FX palette, use the blush in there and the highlighter, and I'll be back with the, hey, final look. Guys, I am so sorry. I completely ran out of time. I had to get ready for this event, plus prepare some things for the following evening. I hope you enjoy the attached pictures. I will promise to come back and either redo this look or do another look out of the palette. These are just some of the photos that we took. We had a photo booth company at the banquet that night, and the guy really did a nice job. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys the next time. You all take care. Bye now.